May 20th, 1967, Falcon Lake, Manitoba. A man kneels in a field and sketches a spacecraft for 30 minutes while it just sits there. Then he touches it. The UFO sets his shirt on fire. The burns on his chest match the sketch he made before the doctors ever saw him. 4 government agencies investigate. The file stays open. Canada Post puts it on a stamp. This is the Falcon Lake incident. Will you believe? Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Mostly True Alien Stories.
UFO sightings. Many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects.
Science in Mexico pulling back the curtain. We need to save ourselves.
Welcome back to Mostly True Alien Stories. I'm Neil Girandola, and this is the show where we take a true report of an alien encounter from history. We share what we know, then we decide whether it's a mostly true alien story or not. Today's case is built differently from most of what we usually cover because most of our reports come down to one person's word, a witness, a memory, a story that has no physical trace. Today, we have something rarer. A man who came back from his encounter with burns on his body, a sketch in his notebook, a preserved shirt, and a government file that 4 agencies looked at, and they couldn't close it. So this is the most documented UFO contact in Canadian history. It's the Falcon Lake incident, and the evidence, I think, is pretty fun and pretty solid. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button on whatever channel you're listening through and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mostly True Alien Stories. And with me, as always, it's the 2 people I trust most to navigate the unexplained. It's Andrew Triana and Lemon G. Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hey. Oh.
Hi, Neil.
I was really in there by myself. There.
You were just on your own there for a minute.
Hey!
Yeah, really fun.
Show a little bit more excitement.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to get into the story, but there are 2 things that popped up on my feed over the weekend that I think are pretty hilarious, and I wanted to talk about and see where it goes. You remember 3i Atlas came through, and then all the stuff that went on and how NASA handled it. NASA didn't embrace the possibility that there were aliens out there, and it was a missed opportunity for them to brand and really drive their stuff. Well, I've run into this situation now with MUFON, Mutual UFO Network. They're riding the whole push, the aggressive push of disclosure and, the government putting out all the files on UAPs and everything else. They, all of a sudden, MUFON is starting to advertise and promote for membership. And I think it's brilliant because since we started this show just over a year ago, MUFON was the blah sort of presence. There wasn't much to it. The memberships were dwindling. The things were going down. But now they're putting out these ads and they're embracing this in a way that I'm so proud of them because they got this alien in a MUFON jacket and he with a hat and they're saying, join MUFON. And I haven't seen a join MUFON ad Ever. I've never seen this. And they're saying, become a MUFON field investigator, investigate, document, make a difference. Join MUFON and help uncover the truth behind UFO sightings. It's brilliant. It is a brilliant, brilliant thing to do. And even the picture is cool. This guy's got a spaceship over him, the alien, and he's writing down notes. They make it sound so interesting. I was thinking that maybe we can get, if our listeners are listening, if anyone wants to sponsor this, we can sponsor Lemon to become a MUFON field investigator and send her, and then we'll see how it works out. What do you think?
You guys don't want to do it?
We are MUFON field investigators.
Why? We don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think you get a badge. I think you get a jacket. It looks like you get a jacket from this post they're putting out.
The alien actually comes and gives you a jacket.
That's really,
my
really
God.
cool.
Yeah, what is the process of this?
So there's a textbook. So you got to pay. So I think, I don't know how much the membership is. I got to look that up.
I think it's $125, I think.
It still is to become a MUFON field investigator?
I think so, yeah. Somebody's making bank on this, man. Come on.
Yeah, but then you get a book, and apparently the textbook is like this thick. It's like there's a lot of rules and regulations in it that you have to understand. Then you have to test. And then what happens is, depending on where your area is, if there's a sighting or a report, you would get called by the MUFON office, and you have to put on your jacket and your hat.
Can you imagine? Lemon
Wait,
goes out
that
there and
sounds
she's like investigating something, right? And they're like, Oh, thank God someone from MUFON is here. I gotta tell you, Bill's bleeding from his eyes and from his anus. We think he got abducted. And then she's like this. Bleeding
Okay,
from
just a minute. Page
eyes. Hold on a second. Hold
77,
on.
eyes
Bleeding
bleeding.
from eyes and anus. Okay, bleeding
Page
from eyes could
73.
possibly mean radiation.
Uh-huh.
Nothing about anus. Hold on.
Oh, it says, get back in your car.
Get out of there now.
Nobody-
Go. Flee. Come
That's
on.
absolutely,
Fucking
well,
people.
listen, I think good for MUFON for saying, hey, why aren't we
Yeah.
embracing this shit right now? Let's
Right.
get out there, get memberships driving back up. And I say anybody who is interested in UFO investigations and stories like we tell, and on all this stuff,
Should
you
become
should,
a MUFON. Yeah.
yes, consider supporting MUFON at the very least. They even have a TV channel. They have a TV channel.
Yeah.
Which is really
Listen,
cool.
I would love to be sponsored to be a MUFON alien investigator. That
Yeah.
would be so sick.
Any listeners out there who want to support this cause, because we have no sponsors yet, but we will soon. But if you want to sponsor Lemon to become a MUFON field investigator, we will we'll let you know how to do that.
I feel
All
like
right.
I should do an ad for it. Are you tired of being made fun of? Do you believe in UFOs? Well, join MUFON. MUFON will tell you exactly where everything is.
Yeah.
Join MUFON today.
Well,
For $9.95.
I think you sounded just like the guy who's heading it up, isn't it? Dan Aykroyd, who's running MUFON now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. Dan Aykroyd
Wow.
heads up MUFON. I think he still does. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
he does.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me call him. Hold on.
No, don't call him yet. Call him after the show. But here's the
Okay.
second thing I thought was pretty funny, which is, I'm really, since we started this show, we've learned so much about so many people in this world, in this conversation of aliens, about, who's credible, who's not, whistleblowers, and all those things. So you got Dr. Stephen Greer, who at the
Just
very
a
beginning
blower.
of all of this, but at the very beginning of all this, I had such great respect for him. He really is a champion of where we are today for the disclosure stuff, but he is of late becoming just very questionable, very almost desperate in a sense to stay in the public eye.
Ugh.
And it's kind of disappointing in a sense, so I just saw now is promoting his project, Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive, which I never knew it existed. So this must be a new thing. But he's doing crash scene recreations of the UFO incidences. So you can go and look at these things. And I sent you guys over the picture, and I am going to drop it into the podcast here. But if you look at it, are you guys looking at the photo I sent? You have to look at it because here's
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
there's it's the 1941 Cape Girardeau, Missouri UFO crash scene, and there's a giant alien UFO embedded in thing. But you see the dead alien in the front? You see the dead alien? And he's just like real limp. And then there's some odd blue things in there. And you got
Then there's another alien back there by the two guys sprawled out.
The two guys, and the two guys are just like standing there.
Like they're not even like, or
right. Yeah.
They're just looking.
Fucking Greer.
staring.
And then you have the cops over by their cop car and the fire trucks, and it's just his recreation. It's very interesting. I guess his Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive. If you want to continue your own research into certain projects, this is what I'm inferring from this. I haven't looked any further than when I saw this picture. I had to stop. I laughed out loud because he's now doing recreations of UFO encounters.
So he's been reduced to this now.
Is it reduced or is it,
this freaking guy.
you're getting over 35
when
years
will-
of evidence is what he's saying.
Here's the thing with Greer, and this is my issue with Greer. This guy comes out every month or so and says, next week there's going to be a huge announcement. Wait and see.
Yes, he does do that.
Nothing.
Well, now he's predicted in the next 8 years we're going to get the big news.
Right.
So he's covered himself for 8 years.
Right, because he might die in the next 8 years, and then it won't matter. It's just freaking stupid. This guy has predicted so much stuff. He's been on so many shows. Everybody talks to him, and the guy talks about nothing. I've seen aliens. I have photos of aliens. Let me pull up the photo of Flipsy on my phone.
Yeah.
Do you think he's entirely making it up, or do you think he, I don't
well,
know.
So here's the thing. I don't want to say that he's making things up because I think there's part of it that he believes what he sees. The other
Right.
part of it is, again, he's been a very great advocate to push for disclosure. He has from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because he's going back years. He's one of the first
Right.
to really come out and create some change in this direction. But of late, he needs to rebrand because he is coming across desperate. He's missing, he's missing the connection right now.
As soon as he connected himself to the boogosphere,
Yeah,
that was it.
That was really the pivotal point, for this.
And even
whole
before
change.
that, I mean, he's been on what's his name's Dana Carvey and David Spade's podcast several times talking about. They have him on there all the time talking about his UFO encounters and everything. And then he shows these really bad films. I mean, my God, dude, go to ChatGPT and do a better picture now. You can do it now. AI's better. So just do that.
I think
true.
that
think I'm gonna
also
start just
that
making
image
shit up.
did look very ChatGPT to me.
It is. It's
Like,
not a
yeah,
real
so-
recreation.
Which
It's
image we talking
the,
about?
I know,
the one
the
that we
one
just
that
showed.
I know it's not a real image,
Oh.
but like in terms
Yeah.
of him recreating it and him, like he's just like, give me this image,
Yeah.
and then he's
I
putting it
love
out
that.
there trying to get grabs. I don't know.
I am going to look into this. Maybe we do this on our next episode. We do the 1941 Cape Girardeau, Missouri UFO crash scene, and
let's do it.
we can see, because I see 2 dead aliens. Doesn't look like much panic. It looks like, oh, there's another day in Missouri.
In Missouri, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
another
That
UFO
is-
found.
Frank, look at that. That's another 2 guys dead. I mean, how many more of these things we got to see?
Yeah, I don't see any of the army guys. There's an army truck there. There are police. The police are over at their car out in their coffee break, and there's no firemen. I don't see any firemen, but I see the fire truck. And you just have these 2 freaking town guys. They're like, yep, when I found them, the alien was dead right here, and there's one over there.
That one
And
I
that's
shot.
a ship.
That one I shot because he moved, so I
That
shot
one
him.
I shot.
Yeah, they were alive when we got here. We shot them. Anyway, so I just thought those 2 things were very interesting. I think Greer needs to do a brand identity check. He needs to just back it up, just new just regroup, Greer. I think we're getting a little out of hand. And then
Rebrand.
MUFON, follow MUFON's lead. You know what I mean? They're embracing it the proper way. I love that, and I do want to get Lemon to become a MUFON field investigator. Okay, let's get into the story today. I'm excited to talk about it. As a reminder, we're going to read the report on this story. Andrew's going to fill in some details, and then the 3 of us are going to weigh in on whether we think this is a mostly true alien story or not. Are you guys ready to talk about the Falcon Lake incident?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. All right, Stefan Michalak was 51 years old in the spring of 1967. He was a Polish-born industrial mechanic living in Winnipeg, a practical, methodical man who spent his weekends as an amateur geologist, prospecting for quartz veins and silver deposits in the Canadian wilderness. I mean, that sounds like a good time. He's going to go out and look at rocks. Let's go.
Yeah, he's just out there collecting quartzes and geodes and stuff.
Good for
That's
him,
fun.
man.
Have you ever
That
done
is
that?
fun.
It's actually kind of fun.
Crystal boy.
I've never done that.
Yeah, it's cool.
My driveway's rocks. I go out and look at those.
You just stare at the driveway.
Yeah. I stare at the driveway. Wow, look at those rocks.
Wow, that's a lot of rocks. Do you get your rocks off doing that, or this?
Yes. Very good, Andrew. That was very good. All right. He had been prospecting near Falcon Lake. It's a lake and provincial park about 90 minutes east of Winnipeg. Multiple times that year he was doing that. He knew the terrain very well. He had his notebook, his tools, and his whole routine. So he always went out, and that's what he had with him all the time. So he had no prior interest in UFOs, I should state, and he had no history of anomalous experiences ever. He was the kind of witness who is valuable precisely because he had nothing to gain and no framework to fit into this. So setting the stage here. It was late morning on May 20th, and Michalak is working alone when 2 oval-shaped craft descend from the sky. They're metallic, luminous, and large. He watches them from a distance, and then one hovers briefly and then leaves, and the second one lands. Now, Michalak does not run. He does what any methodical man would do. He gets out his field notebook, and he starts sketching what he sees.
This is me as the MUFON investigator.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Can I just stop you? So here's this freaking ship, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't think to run. The first thing he does is, I better get my notebook.
Take his notebook out?
Those geologists, man, they just don't know when to run.
He's like, that kind of looks like a rock. Maybe
Let
he
me
thought
tell you
that.
what that is.
Yes,
That
sir.
looks like something. I better sketch it.
It- yeah, it is interesting that he wouldn't run, but I don't know. Maybe his mindset is he is very methodical. Maybe he wants to study it as close as he can and
From a distance,
figure it out. Well,
possibly.
I don't
Fire,
know.
heat.
Well, Andrew, let's find out what happens to him. Let's find out. All right. So he doesn't run. He doesn't run.
No.
Right. So he, like I said, he gets out his notebook and he starts drawing what he sees. So for the next 30 minutes, he draws the craft because it's just sitting there. He notes its dimensions, observes the surface, and it's a dull gray-red color, seamless with no visible joints or rivets. He can hear voices inside.
Oh.
He hears people talking or aliens talking.
Get away from the ship. It's hot.
What's that motherfucker drawing? Is he drawing us?
Is he drawing us? Doesn't he have a camera? He must
What
be
is that?
poor.
Why isn't he running?
This
All
could
right,
be
so
a
that's
children's book.
Yeah,
Crank up the heat, Harry.
Yeah. All right. So he can hear these voices. They're inside. They're indistinct to him. He can't make out what they're saying, but it is a conversation that he is hearing. And he calls out. Now, this is interesting. He calls out in English, Russian, German, and Polish.
What?
He tried 4 different languages on these people, and there was no response. So it's good.
The response is, sorry, we don't speak those languages.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
Wait, so at
The
this
one
point,
language.
do you think he's thinking this is some kind of government and I'm just gonna go with the 4 major languages and I'm gonna shoot my shot?
I think he was just trying to impress them by showing them that he knew 4 languages. I don't know that he was thinking anything at that
Wow.
point. He was
All
like,
right,
oh,
all
I
right.
get to show them how many languages I speak.
He's like, I hear some
Oh.
voices.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hola. Yeah. All right. So now he has no response from from him calling out in all these languages. He approaches close enough to the craft. So he's not only not running away, he's now going closer. He's doubling down, and he reaches out. He has gloves on. He reaches out with his gloved hand and he presses against the exterior of the ship, and his glove immediately melts on his hand. And before he can process that, the craft itself tilts and a grill vented panel on its side swings toward him and releases a blast of hot gas or some sort of exhaust directly into his chest and stomach. And his shirt then catches on fire. So he's on fire. His hand has been melted. His glove on his hand has been melted. So he tears his shirt off and he stumbles back through the bush toward the highway. Now I think he's running away. And he's
like showing them how sexy he is.
That's right. And he's
Doing
yelling.
that dance for
He's
you.
yelling. Yeah, he's yelling back at them in 4 languages, motherfucker, in 4 different
My
languages.
shirt. That was my favorite shirt.
Yeah. So now he's running toward the highway. He's vomiting. He's disoriented, and his chest is burning from the fire that happened to them, from the exhaust that went on him. So now a passing motorist finds him, and this is what it says in the report, which I found very odd. A passing motorist finds him, and he makes it to a motel. And then eventually he gets to the Misericordia Hospital in Winnipeg. Why did the passing motorist take him to a motel? Why did he go there? Why not go straight to the hospital?
He was like, motel, hotel, holiday inn.
Yeah. This guy was going to do something to him. Oh,
No, it was like the Bates Motel.
Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah.
No,
I'll get you
mother, the blood.
I'll get you to a hospital, but we're going to stop at the motel
Let me
first.
stop at this motel really quickly.
Just for a minute. Come on inside.
You look like you've been burned. Should I rub some salve on you?
I've got cream for you. All right. At the hospital, the doctors document what they find. It's a precise grid pattern of burns across Michalak's chest and abdomen. So it's a grid burn. It's not a random scorch. It's a grid. And it's consistent with the exhaust grill Michalak had already sketched in his field notebook before anyone examined him.
His notebook didn't burn?
I was in the other hand. Yeah.
It's like he was slapped with it.
Oh, I better hold the notebook in my other hand because this one's melted.
That's right. All right. So now, so you follow, right? So he had sketched this thing, then he gets burned, but now the sketch has shown the grill that matches the grill burns on his chest.
Gotcha.
So here we are. So his scorched shirt was preserved. The burns on the fabric matched the pattern on his body. He returns to the site with investigators, I guess a little bit longer later, and a geologist who
Not him,
came
though.
to the site found
Another
another one.
geologist.
He's
His
got a
buddy.
lot of geologist friends.
This is my buddy Joey. He's a geologist.
He's going to
He's my
come with us.
backup.
He's going to look at the scene. All right. So he returns to the site with these investigators. Among the investigators is a geologist who found disturbed soil and elevated radiation at the landing location. Radioactive material was identified. This is what makes the Falcon Lake thing unlike almost any other cases that we've covered. There's an extreme difference here. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigated. The Department of National Defense investigated.
Yep.
And because radioactive material had been found at the site, the Royal Canadian Mint got involved because they have radiological expertise. So an independent geologist, another one, I guess it's the same one, he or she examines the landing site and confirmed the findings. So we had 4 agencies, 1 open file, and there's no conclusion. The Canadian government has never officially closed the Falcon Lake case. So here's what happened after. Stefan reported ongoing health effects for years, recurring nausea, weight loss, dizziness, and a rash that returned in the grid pattern intermittently for the rest of his life. He never wrote a book. He never went on a speaking tour. He cooperated with every investigation, answered every question, and he went back to his life. He died in 1999, and now his son, Stan Michalak, has spent decades maintaining the documentation and pushing for formal acknowledgement. And in 2018, the Canada Post, this is their mail system out there, issued a commemorative stamp of the Falcon Lake incident as part of a series on significant Canadian UFO cases. So that's the most documented UFO contact in Canadian history. It's officially unexplained, and it's now on a stamp. All right, Andrew, there's 4 government agencies, an open file, sketch that preceded the burns, radiation at the landing site, and a stamp. I want to know what you found, what's missing, and then we'll all weigh in on whether we think this is a mostly true alien story or not. All right, Andrew, take it away.
It's real.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week. Mostly true alien stories.
So I love this story so much because I actually got to learn a lot about radiation and radiation poisoning and radiation sickness. I think he saw a ship. I honestly think there was a ship.
You think you saw something? Okay.
He saw something.
Remember, he said he saw 2 of them. He saw 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
One.
Great.
No, is that what you found?
No, I found that there was he only talked about the one because he was so, the motorist said that he was disoriented when they found him. And I guess maybe he took him to the hotel first.
Yeah, the guy that picked him up after the incident. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he took him to a hotel and then took him to the hospital. I don't know why.
Right. I think I actually think that the motorist was staying at that hotel.
Okay.
That's what that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. I don't have any facts on that, but I think the guy was staying there and he was like, I got to get him someplace where I can just check him out to make sure he's okay. I don't really know this area that well, where the hospital is, doesn't know anything. So I think he took him there to kind of calm him down, slipped him a roofie.
It is kind of an unknown.
Burned him with a pancake griddle.
That's right. Yeah. Right. That is to me in this story, it's kind of a missing link because I didn't find the name of the motorist. And I didn't find there was no further addition to that moment. Why go to the motel? I mean, this guy's burning, he's vomiting, disoriented. Why not go straight to the hospital? So that was the missing link.
Have you guys ever heard of the third man theory?
Maybe.
The third man theory is that in moments of distress, like some people will experience this during car accidents or something, they swear that they were pulled out of the car and that's how they lived, like by a person. But then upon recollection, people are like, nope, that person was never there. And
maybe his third man theory was that this guy took him pulled him out of there, took him to a motel.
Yeah, he was so disoriented that he saved him.
Could be.
Like this man saved him.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he might think he was taken to a hotel or motel or a holiday.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think that's Lemon's point. And I think also too, I mean, because I kind of experienced that firsthand. It didn't happen to me, but I remember on the road, I was driving down the road one time and this truck all of a sudden just veered off out of nowhere and flipped and just rolled. And I went over and, it was on its side. It was a huge truck. And I
Oh
climbed.
my
I was the first
God.
one on scene, climbed up on top, and it was a violent crash. I mean, they hit a pole and everything. I was afraid of what I was going to find. And I climbed on top of the car, and it was very hard to even see in there. And I'm like, dude, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And you hear the guy go, yeah. I go, are you okay? He goes, no, I don't think so. And I was like, all right, I couldn't get to him. And I go, is there anybody else in there with you? And he goes, yes, there's 4 other people. And no one was saying anything. And you couldn't see. And no one was saying anything. And immediately the police rolls up and they get this guy out. And I was like, he says there's 4 other people in there. There was nobody else in there. And they pulled him. He thought there were 4 other people in the car with him. And that to me could have been, maybe his protectors. It also could have been that he was with 4 other people prior and thought they were still with him, that kind of thing. But anyway, that's kind of like that.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
no,
Andrew.
it is. I mean, you talk about the third person. I'm just going to go back on that. So when I was much younger, I had a car accident and I went through the windshield of the car.
Oh, geez.
And if you saw the windshield of the car, it looked like, the Shroud of Turin, the blanket that covered Jesus, right?
Yes,
you see
sure.
That's what the windshield looked like. You saw my face imprinted in the windshield.
How old were you?
I was 18. I had major lacerations. I had over 400 stitches in my face, but over my eyes and nose, there was a handprint that was not my handprint because I had no cuts on my hand and there was no handprint on the windshield.
Oh my gosh.
So there's your third man. There's your third man. Okay. Let's get back to this Mikhail. Okay. So you could consider his disorientation as he could have been drunk, although they never confirmed whether he was drinking or not. There's no confirmation of whether
why
he
would
had
you say
alcohol.
he was drunk?
Because he's vomiting, he's delirious, he's staggering when the motorist finds him. Just throwing that theory out
Just like
there.
his symptoms. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
This is some skeptical
But that has
stuff I'm
never
just
been
gonna
brought
throw.
up.
Never been brought up, but it's never been proven and it's never been disproven. So,
But has that been a topic of conversation ever besides
it has
you saying
been.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, it has
been.
Okay.
It has
Okay.
been. That's
All right.
that's what they're kind of that they're trying to say. So they're also saying that the burn marks could have been self-inflicted.
In
That's
a grid
another
pattern.
possibility.
In a grid pattern
In
on
a
his
grid
body.
pattern. Yeah. He took a waffle iron and was like, yeah. So
Why?
I don't know.
Well, why?
I don't know.
He
went
never
to that
benefited
motel
from
with
this.
the guy. He went to the motel with the guy.
It might have been just a major kink thing that he did. This is his thing. I'm going to go in the woods. I'm going to say I saw a UFO. You're going to pick me to the side of the road, take me to a motel, and we're going to have sex, and then you're going to burn me.
Burn me with a waffle iron.
You're branding
really
me.
get
Oh
up.
my God.
Yeah.
That's just look. That's just
Okay,
what
I mean,
some
that's-
skeptics have said. Okay,
okay,
I
all
don't
right,
believe that.
yeah,
I don't
I know,
believe it was
I know.
self-inflicted.
I just
gotta.
want to make sure. I want to make sure you're not putting this speculation into, but
No.
that's what you're seeing the conversation.
That's what I've seen in conversations. So
I don't want people to think you're a dick because I've run into people that think that you're a dick.
Right, of course.
When it comes to this stuff.
Right. So
I was just at a party.
So here's the thing. It's a single named witness until he gets to the hospital, until the government shows up. Now we have multiple witnesses, we could say, in this case. That's why the case is like so known. He did have physical damage on his body. There's medical documentation of the case. So we have all these things that are like, yes, for sure.
Yeah, but you're saying he was the only witness to the encounter. You're saying multiple witnesses
well,
that are
we had the
researching,
motorist who
investigating.
we don't know. And then the doctors that saw the burns on him, they're witnesses too.
Yeah.
I know they're going by what he said.
Okay.
Let's talk about the area where that geologist went, where Joey went.
Let's make it clear that we don't know if the geologist was his buddy. We think that was
I'm just saying
an assigned investigator to the whole case. Yeah.
Right. So
just based on his burns and everything else and the radioactive stuff. Yeah.
Right. So it was low level radiation. So that would have been radium, which is pretty common.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Radium is very common. Low levels of radiation, the rocks and stuff. I mean, there's
from what?
The Earth's natural radiation is called radium.
Okay.
So it exists in soil. So just remember that radium is not lethal. Radium usually doesn't cause burns like this. Immediate burns on the chest, his shirt damage, symptoms the same day. That doesn't fit with radium poisoning. Radium poisoning is a slow, delayed damage that happens to people. It hurts tissue over time, so that could explain why he suffered with this later on.
Yeah,
so
but
it's a slow poisoning.
Right, but that's to his point. that means the grill was hot or there was a gas,
Right.
something,
But
and it
that
was just
doesn't
the
explain
exhaust was
the exhaust
radiation.
from the vessel. Right.
Yeah,
But not necessarily the exhaust was radiation, but the area where the vehicle or the vessel was could have caused more radium in the ground, but it doesn't fit his symptoms. And remember that with radiation, burns are gradual and they're not one set area. It's like radiation burns all over. So that's
Yeah.
why this thermal grid is very important, because
right.
it's part of the ship or vessel or
That's what I
whatever
mean.
it was he saw.
If you put your hand on a car's exhaust while it's been running, you'll burn your hand. I think the grill was hot enough that it burned him. I mean, his glove melted when he touched the ship.
They don't have the glove. There's no mention of the glove
it burned,
afterwards.
It melted.
So his hand would have melted. He would have had burns
Yeah,
on his
that
hand.
was a question I had. It was
So
just the glove.
there's no documented burns on his hand. I know that it's part of the story, but the only areas that showed burns that they saw physically was his chest with the grid, and it looked like a freaking grid. And the burn patterns don't really match anything except for an exhaust grid
of the one he drew in his sketch.
And that was on him.
Yeah, the reason this story is so interesting is because he had drawn the sketch, then he gets burned. And that's the sketch. In the sketch on the ship, you see the grid that he drew. And so it's the same exact grid that's burned on his body. That's what's interesting. Now, was there any radiation levels on him?
No.
Not his blood, nothing? He tested,
nothing.
There's no radiation?
No radiation in his blood. His burns and everything do not fit radium poisoning.
Right. So I get,
it's more of a heat blast.
Right. Okay. Right. And that's what I assumed. But somewhere along the line, we're talking about radiation. Is there a reason they're talking about radiation?
Because they found it in the soil.
Why would they look for that if they didn't find it on him?
No, because the ship landed there. They're going to try to detect to see what's happening in the area.
Right. That's what I want to clarify.
Yeah.
All right. So they're just checking for checking sakes, not because they found any radiation on him, in him, in his blood system or anything. But he does have the exact burn grid marks as what was drawn on the ship in his rendering.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the 60s, in that area, there was heavy military testing. They were testing new types of helicopters that actually just hover.
So technology testing.
Yes. They appear to land or descend, right? These helicopters, which they do anyway, but they produce intense noise and heat. And now that's one thing that we didn't talk about. He doesn't talk about hearing a loud boom or loud noise.
No.
He just says he walks up on this thing and boom, he's hit with this thing. Well, he's there for an hour, 30 minutes drawing what he's seeing it, right?
Sketching it out.
And then he's hit with this freaking boom. So his scarring, his heat, his exposure is very similar to a massive heat source, like a jet exhaust or a turbine exhaust in a helicopter or some sort of industrial venting system. So maybe there was no vehicle. Maybe it was something they were testing in the ground that like blew this thing up. And then of course, it's going to be a government cover up.
But we've heard of UFOs in that time era emitting an exhaust or some sort of flame or heat or that kind of stuff. We've heard this from other sightings before too.
So he did encounter, because if it was heat and stress and fumes from this explosion, that explains his headaches, his weakness, his nausea, his dehydration. Inhaling exhaust, like if you go in your garage and like close the garage door and turn the car on.
Oh, you're going to die. You'll die. So don't do that, listeners. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Well, so what else? What else do you have that's compelling to this? Sorry, we get it. No radiation. Not
There's
enough
no
to
radiation.
Kill you.
So the thing is that when they bring up the radiation, it's like, well, that's not what burned him. Something burned him, or he had a real physical encounter.
Set his shirt on fire.
Right. I honestly think that this is true with a vessel. He saw a vessel there, right? So the exhaust burning him.
You think that's plausible?
It's all
that
plausible.
A vessel could have burned you. Yeah.
Right. So all these ideas that this is like, no, none of this is true. It didn't happen. No, the guy saw a thing there. He saw whatever it was, and he has all the symptoms of being exposed to a massive heat source, thermal exposure, being near some sort of vent or grill.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
And of course, it happens in the middle of nowhere, right?
But it is
And-
possible that this could be human because there was military testing
in that area. But how like close to that area?
That I wasn't able to pick up.
Yeah. What bases are near there? In Winnipeg?
There is a big base in Winnipeg. I know there is.
All right. So what else you got?
I got no evidence of something else that could have contaminated the area.
So you're saying natural radium from there, probably maybe a little higher that area.
Yeah, it's
for some
common.
reason.
They said that it's common in the rock forms there. Speaking geologists, it is a Canadian shield rock. So the Canadian shield rock in that area has radium in it.
I wasn't even thinking about radiation, anything, because he didn't have any radiation on him. I assumed he got burned when he got close to whatever this vessel was. And then again, he had sketched that grill that was on there, and that's the same grill that's on his burns on his body. So that's interesting. I just don't understand how it would keep coming back if he has no radium poisoning in him or any sort of radiation poisoning.
That's what I found fascinating, that he kept coming back and they didn't find radium in him. Or maybe they did and they just didn't tell him.
Why wouldn't they tell him?
Oh,
because the government. They want to keep it.
They want to keep everything
secret.
silent, dude. You're going to a hospital with trusted people and you're like, this rash keeps coming back. Nah, you know what?
Yeah.
You have eczema.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Here, put this cream on it.
Do you have any other compelling information that we need before we weigh in?
No.
All right, so all good information. I think it's time for us to weigh in on whether we think this is a mostly true alien story. Lemon, I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you think this is a mostly true alien story or not?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
love this story. I did find the main military base is it's the same site as Winnipeg's International Airport, and it's home to 17 Wing Winnipeg, which is the main unit, then 1 Canadian Air Division HQ and Canadian NORAD Region HQ, which is the Continental Air Defense Command. Interesting. And it functions
NORAD,
air crew training, flight operations support, transport, and search. So it is interesting how like aerial it is, like it's very much aircraft.
Right. Could be a lot
so
of
that's
testing going on. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think this is a mostly true alien story. To Andrew's point, something definitely happened to him. I don't think it was self-inflicted. I think that fumes could potentially cause you to have certain illusions and to not fully understand what's happening to you, but something definitely happened to him.
Okay. Lemon says it is a mostly true alien story. Andrew, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Do you think it is a mostly true alien story or not?
Yes, it is a mostly true alien story. I'm not going to say that it's alien encounters, but I'm going to say it's alien to all of us because it's so weird. Something happened to this man. He was burned, probably from some experimental military craft, of course, that they're not going to talk to us about. But yes, this is a mostly true alien story.
Say it again.
Mostly true alien story.
Wow. All right. Lemon says it is a mostly true alien story. Andrew says it is a mostly true alien story. Now it's my turn to weigh in. I think Stefan was he was meticulous before this happened. He sketched it. I think there's no reason to think that he was lying about anything. He called out in 4 languages, for God's sakes. I mean, that was a detail that he added in there.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean, he tried to make friends with them. And look what they did to him, right? He puts his hand out, he melts his glove. You got the sketch, you got the burns, you got the shirt, you got the radiation. The fact that the 4 government files have all stayed open on this too. There's been they didn't close this. This is a documented, methodical, officially unresolved case, and they even put it on a stamp. So I think I'm with you guys. This is a mostly true alien story. Something did land at Falcon Lake next to Stefan, and he has the medical record to prove it. All right, Stefan Michalak went to Falcon Lake to look for quartz veins. He came back with burns that reoccurred for years, a file that 4 government agencies couldn't close, and a story he told the same way every single time. He didn't make any money on this, and his son Stan is still out there after his death, still documenting, still asking the same question his father never got answered. If you guys have thoughts on this or a story you want us to investigate, pretty soon Lemon's going to be a MUFON field investigator, so send us those stories in our comments, and make sure to subscribe and share the show and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mostly True alien stories. We'll see you on the next episode. Until then, be kind to the aliens when they get here, please. All right, Andrew, Lemon, good job. Thanks.
UFO sighting. Many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects.